Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good whatever time it is right there. Welcome to Aquarium Thoughts Live. I'm Dave. How's everyone doing out there today? Let me see here. A few things I do want to talk about today. Primarily some changes. Some of it you might have already noticed. It's a slight change anyways. It's a simple addition to the name on my channel. Instead of just being Aquarium Thoughts, it's going to be Dave's Aquarium Thoughts. So slight change. Hello, and Ginger. How's it going today? So yeah, doing changes. That song, not the cha-cha. So anyways, instead of just being Aquarium Thoughts on my channel name, I'm changing it slightly to Dave's Aquarium Thoughts. Some of you might have already noticed. Some might have already been into the discussion when I was doing it. It was a live stream. I think it was, I don't know if it was Big J's or Anthony's, but during one of their streams that I was on the panel, we were somehow the name changes came up, and I decided, no, let me add some more pizzazz to my channel name. So I added my name, so now it's Dave's Aquarium Thoughts. Another slight change to the channel is going to be the time at which I do the live streams. I know some of you might become accustomed to my Wednesday day streams at this time. Although I will be changing that. I'm going to be doing more of a late night stream on Thursday nights, probably sometime after Chattanooga Ed's done with his stream. So stay tuned for that. This is probably going to be my last Wednesday stream, unless I decide to do a stream here and there during the daytime as well. But most likely I'll be doing my weekly one on late nights on Thursday. So definitely stay tuned for those ones. It's going to be pretty much the same kind of live streams. I'll probably be more, what's the word? Because right now I'm just kind of waking up. So I'm not really as prepared as I would be if I've been up for a while and whatnot. So that's the other change I have. So a couple changes, primarily just the name, like I said, Dave's Aquarium Thoughts, and live streams on Thursday nights. Hello, Chevy Fish. Anyways, feel free to let me know what you think about the name change from Aquarium Thoughts to Dave's Aquarium Thoughts, as well as the Thursday night live streams. Hello, Aquarium Analytic. Zen Ginger. That's a much better time for me anyways. Yeah, that's the thing. I kind of want to switch a little bit things up. I think more people are more awake around that time. I know doing a live stream on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. my time, 1 p.m. Eastern, a lot of people are probably busy at that time or at work, doing things late night. People are going to be more home, although the West Coast is going to be late and probably sleepy time, but it's not going to be a perfect time frame, because basically I try to, because if I did a prime time slot like at 6 p.m. Eastern or 7 p.m. Eastern, or even 6 or 7 o'clock my time, I would have trouble getting to these streams. I'll be getting busy. Hello, Streetwise, how's it going? But yeah, that's primarily a few of the things why I am doing the changes. Here. But the other, but anyways, the other thing I want to talk about is technology, which kind of coincides with changes. Because basically a lot of things in the aquarium hobby have changed throughout the years. New technology comes out, this and that, new way to do things. I know for a while we used to use people used to use like fluorescent lights and all that. Now we're kind of switching over to LEDs, which is going more for the energy maintenance kind of things. But primarily, I do want to talk about a few new technology things that are coming up. Thanks, Chevy Fish. I do like. I kind of do like the name a little bit better myself. Branding wise, I'm probably going to still keep the Aquarium Thoughts kind of low branding thing. I think for the channel, I think Dave's Aquarium Thoughts is going to stick. As far as branding on like any kind of merchandise or something, I'm probably going to keep Aquarium Thoughts, like this one right here, where it just says Aquarium Thoughts on there. It doesn't say Dave's Aquarium Thoughts. But let me know what you think about that as well. Should I just have as far as if I do any merchandising, not that anyone is buying it, but should I put Dave's Aquarium Thoughts or just leave it as Aquarium Thoughts? Make me easier to locate. That's one thing I need to let me do a quick search here and see what comes up. If I type in my name and Aquarium. Let's see if I pop up yet in the search under those two names. Well, my life. Oh, yeah, it does. It does come up if I type in my name as well as Aquarium. It pops up. Let's see here. Let's go back to that stream. I prefer LEDs to old school fluorescent style lights. Yeah, I mean they are more energy efficient. Not that the fluorescents aren't that bad, but let's see. When not on social media, leave it as Aquarium Thoughts, but social prefers more detail. Thanks for the comments on that. Now I have to go through all my things and change everything. But yeah. But basically, I still have the website at aquariumthoughts.com. So that's still going to be the same. I'm not going to get another URL that says Dave's Aquarium Thoughts. I think that's going to be a bit much. But yeah. But anyways, there's a few things I do want to talk about in terms of new technology coming out. Some of it's not necessarily on the consumer side of things. Some of it is. Primarily, I do want to talk about a certain device that's going to be more right now on what they're marketing for right now is just for like fish stores and whatnot. I can't blame them considering it's going to be about $1,000 item. Although there's some hobbyists that wouldn't mind spending $1,000. Parts of it though, I'm not quite sure. It's similar to a thing that I already have, which is a photometer. I'm butchering that name. I know. I'm sorry. Basically, it is for water testing. Some of you might have already heard about it. But what it is the API Aquaspin, which is I wasn't able to find anything on the website in general. Yeah, I can point a URL straight to my channel. Although I have my, I do have my URL pointing to my website right now. So yeah, I used to have it pointing to my channel, but I kind of changed that when I opened the store. But I wasn't. But as far as the Aquaspin, I was not able to find a article. I wasn't able to find anything on the website per se. Closest thing I found was this website talking about it, which is the basically API Aquaspin test aquarium water with built-in photometer, which is this thing right here. Reef Builders did an article about it. Basically, what it is, it's a small little device that you set on the counter or wherever. Basically, you put some water into a little disc on the inside, and then it spins and it kind of reads what your parameters are. Gives you like your pH, gives you, I guess, chlorine content if it goes that far. Yeah, something new. I know right now they are only primarily focused on the. They're only focusing on the retail aspect of it, where they will guess they're just focusing on putting into fish stores, so their customers can come into their store and test my water, please, and then they test their water. Looking a little bit into it, I could see why they're probably doing that, because basically it requires a could be a it just requires a small. It's not. I don't think it's reusable disc, because once you use the disc, you have to toss it. But I mean, I've looked on it, and it looks like it's going to be $1 or $2 per disc. So I mean, I don't know how many people want to spend a couple of dollars per test, unless you go to a fish store and they're charging for the test, and basically it's supposed to give you your results in like 30 seconds, or actually not 30 seconds, more like about a minute. So basically that's what that is. A few things to note. Let me see. But looking at a similar device, they go for about $900 or so. So it's definitely going to be a monetary thing that does that basically prevents most consumers from doing that. Not a lot of people want to spend $1,000, but there are some crazy hobbyists that would. But that's that one. Now, one thing in my search I have found was that it was actually, it looks like it's just a rebrand from another item. You see, which is a WaterLink spin, which is going to be from Lamont. So basically, I mean, if you look at it, it looks exactly like this item right here. So it looks like it's current technology out there. Is this API decides, okay, let's rebrand it and sell it to fish stores and make some extra money on it. So it doesn't look like it's something that's actually produced by API, but API is branding it. And of course, this is on Amazon, which I'll put a link at aquariumthoughts.com/Amazon if you do want to check it out. Not that you want to go buy it. Because one thing that this one doesn't say that it does is for nitrate testing, and primarily for, I think, most of our uses, that's probably the number one thing that we're actually looking at, unless we want to go to more detail. Looking at reviews on it or questions about it, does not test nitrates. Something about reactants. I'm sure API probably did something about that where it's actually checking reactants. But if you look at this price tag of $915, that is a hefty price tag on something like that. I can't imagine. I can't imagine API charging less for it. But I would really want to hear, like, someone who actually works in a fish store, what their thoughts on it. So if Big J or anyone else that works in a fish store sees this in a replay, please let me know in the comments what your opinion on this kind of device is for fish store water testing. Specifically not this item, but specifically the API Aquaspin. And have you heard anything beyond a few blurbs on the internet? Now, of course, if you look at the reviews on here, it's 1 out of 5. Though I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with Chevy Fish. I could buy a car for that price. Yeah. I don't think the review is actually anything about the specific functionality of it, but primarily stating it's too expensive. Yeah, I believe it is too expensive. I wouldn't be able to justify spending $900 on a fish testing, water testing device. Although I'm sure there's some people out there that would, especially those who actually have multiple tanks. Especially those who are actually more into having tanks for profit. I could see it more in those kind of instances, but a normal hobbyist, I don't believe, is going to spend that much money unless they're extremely crazy at some point and say, "Oh, let's try it out." But there are other things that people do purchase that are hefty prices. Normal hobbyists do. Hello, Aquaballs. Feeding the baby fry. But the other device I do want to talk about is something else that I saw on someone else's channel, which is, let me see, Joe's Shrimp Shack. He just received this, which is the Felix Smart. Things are definitely advancing in this hobby. New devices coming out. This is another one of those smart devices. It does a few things. Excuse me, I'm going to need to get some water here. If I had endless money, I'd get it. Probably. But the problem is, not a lot of us has endless money. And a lot of us can't really justify that amount when you get a API test kit for about $20. Although you're looking at about 5 minutes per test, and but yeah, it does make things a lot more readable on that API thing, where it actually gives you particular numbers. Just like my exact iDip device, same principle. It works on the same principle as the Aquaspin from API, where basically it's a photometer which reads the parameters and gives you a specific number rather than looking at a color chart yourself and deciphering it. But the other thing I want to talk about is the Felix Smart, which basically is a device. You connect plugs, and it basically acts as a you could turn on and off the devices based off of it, so you could set up timers and whatnot. But it also does a few other things. It gives you a camera that you can spy on your that you can spy on your fish tank on your phone. Although that's an easy fix, you could buy or get webcams to do the same thing. And it gives you like a little device to actually test some parameters on your water. Although looking into it, I'm not sure how much use I would get out of that. Because basically all it really tests would be your pH, your temperature, and ammonia. Now, ammonia is probably an important thing to keep an eye on, but primarily what I would want to chart would be more nitrates to see how that's going to give you a better thing on when you're going to need your water changes and see a better fluctuation in how it goes. Ammonia, I think, is more of a warning device to see if anything's going wrong in your. But that's one of the things. Of course, this is something that's for monitoring, making sure everything's okay. Ammonia, if you have ammonia spikes, yes, but it's very limited from what I could tell so far. But it's something exciting. I'm definitely keep my eye on, especially from those who actually received it. Now, this is one of those devices that came off of I think it was either Kickstarter or Indiegogo. There's a lot of devices out there that come off of that. Some of it, of course, is vaporware. Some of it's highly questionable. This seems like it's this seems like it's going to be the real deal. Gives you a Home Assistant. It works on Siri, Google Home. Basically stuff you could actually say, okay, whatever, turn on this, turn on that, and go from there. It basically makes your aquarium more smarter. Hello, Joe. How's it going? It's cool, but they sold this kind of stuff for saltwater forever. Maybe first marketed for fresh. If you're talking about the Felix Smart, yes, they have been doing that in saltwater forever. Basically, one of them, I think, is the Apex out there. Which actually, I think it's Streetwise actually has Apex on his freshwater, if I'm not mistaken. If Streetwise is still here, please correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I mean, when I went to Reefapalooza, I saw the Apex. I'm like, I thought myself, okay, I could probably turn this into my freshwater tank. But then I look at the price tag of everything like that. Even this Felix Smart's in the $700, $800 range, and yeah, that's a lot of money to be putting into an aquarium. We're not going to be actually putting that money into other things around the house. In fact, I mean, even those photometers, I think they've been more into saltwater things as well. And now they're kind of getting into the freshwater aspect as well. Just like the photometer I have for my water testing, I actually got that at Reefapalooza as well. Hello, Big Tank Hank. How's it going? So yeah. Um, yeah, okay, yeah. Streetwise, he got the Apex EL. So it is, I mean, the Felix Smart, I think, is something similar to that. The Apex is probably going to be more advanced, in my opinion, than the Felix. Um, but I don't know. It's a lot of things that it's just certain changes within the hobby, like being like more smart devices are coming in. I know with my aquariums, I haven't really set up in my new place yet. I have ran certain smart things like smart plugs to control my water pumps. I've used it for my CO2 system. I use it on some do-it-yourself dosing systems that I've. There's a lot of cool little things that you can do with automation within the aquarium using like smart devices. Um, and Streetwise uses the Apex for monitoring, turning filters on and off, and you used the kit for leak detection. That's one thing I'm going to be doing as well. Eventually, is I am going to be buying some devices for leak detection myself that actually integrate with SmartThings, which is another smart device for home automation. There's actually some Wi-Fi ones out there as well, which anyone out there, you don't need to buy like a $700-$800 device to do that. Sometimes it is nice to have it all in one central unit like the Apex. But there's other things out there that actually offer leak detection, like with the SmartThings. So that's one thing I'm going to be putting together as well. If you eventually on aquariumthoughts.com/Amazon, I will be actually setting up a series of smart devices for the aquarium. So stay tuned for that as well. That's one thing I just decided. Okay, yeah, that's probably a good thing to do as well. Let's see where am I at. But yeah, and then there's always things like the newer fluvals, like the Fluval 3.0 Planted, as well as the Fluval Nano, which basically allows you to control them using your smartphone. I have a new survey, but I mean the fluvals. It's another added more technology that are getting into the hobby. Um, ooh, yeah, that's the other thing you could do with the SmartThings. You could actually connect. You could control the CO2 with the pH, so you can actually control your CO2 levels a little bit more smartly. There's actually some people that actually do that. Yeah, and that's one of the things that these new devices add. They add a new layer of controlling things in your aquarium, especially like in a planet tank with CO2. Um, um, I mean, back when I did CO2, I wasn't really keeping track of the pH unless when I was testing for it. If you actually monitor pH live, you can actually control the CO2 based on where your CO2 levels are, based on the pH of your water. And yeah, when I used to actually chart my water parameters, that's the one thing I did. I used to test how much CO2 was in it using a formula based off of pH and it was either GH or KH. I forget which one, but and they gave me a number for that. And that's the number I used to track when I did more water testing. But it's amazing what these smarter things can do, especially like with the fluval lights. You could actually control the water, the light on your phone. You could set it up very, very smartly on levels, on what time certain levels are. Basically, this is for my tank behind me, which is my Mabuna tank. Now, of course, on this one, I do have a lot of high levels, based because. And that's how I have set mine, which primarily just controls when the light levels are higher, when they get lower, and it's not just turn on the light exactly at 10 a.m. and it just pops on. Basically, what this can do actually has a ramp up level, which what you can do is you could set it so it instead of just turning on brightly, it's more like a curve where it gradually turns on. I know there's other non-smart stuff that do the ramp up feature. I think my one of my LED light timers has that capability, which is on the I think it's the Night Crew light. Their timer has the their timer has the ramp up feature as well. But I do love the Fluvels. That's one of the added technology and the features on that. But getting into the things like the Felix Smart, this is stuff that you can find on, like, sometimes starts on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Although some things you have to be worried about because basically some of it is vaporware, which means it's just hardware that never exists and never will. But they kind of try to raise money for it. Hello, Sharon Miller. Welcome to joining the stream. One thing I found while researching this was the Fishbit, which was another thing that came up. And this is another one that's supposed to be basically one of those things that tracks your water parameters, tracks on your phone. Hello, Jesse. Welcome to joining the stream here. Which is supposed to give you real-time data, real-time results. This is another thing I think it was on either Kickstarter or Indiegogo. Basically allows you to have control and stuff like that. Although one thing I found on this is when I went to go search, okay, how much is this? I hit the shop now, and it's currently unavailable. And I have no clue what happened to it. So it's some of that stuff you do need to be worried about. Okay, is it really real? Is it a gimmick or whatnot? One thing I don't with the Felix Smart, I don't think that's a gimmick. I think that's actually out there. But $600 or $700, that kind of device is not for me. I'd probably, if I was going to spend that much money, I'd probably be like Streetwise and go with the Apex systems and just adapt that to Smart. Let's see here, Chevy Fish. The crappy thing about Smart things is when your Wi-Fi or internet connection goes out, they need to be reset. At least it used to be that way. Yeah, it depends. It does depend on the actual device. Some of that stuff is horrible about that, and other things it works fine. I know with the Fluvels, if the power goes out, if the power goes out, then yes, I have to reset the lights with the app on mine. Yes, Joe, I feel that the Felix is legit. They've been talking about 2 years. Yes, might be obsolete by the release. I'm not sure if it's obsolete by release. I think it's obsolete by having other things out there in the saltwater world that haven't really came over to the freshwater thing, unless people like Streetwise are wise enough to actually think, oh yeah, I could do this in freshwater too. What's holding me back just because it's marketed on the saltwater aspect of the thing? Whereas the Felix Smart, they're kind of smart by actually marketing it to freshwater and saltwater. So I think that's where that stands. But I mean, there's other things like I said, some things are just kind of vaporware. Hello, Bob. Welcome to joining me. And there's other things like one thing Atlas. There's other things that I've seen out there that are supposed to make better technology in the fish aquarium. One thing was highly questionable for me that I've seen come out, and this was they did it on Kickstarter, they did it on Indiegogo. I mean, there's this one device that's supposed to add technology. One thing I've seen out there, it looked very, very highly questionable, primarily because they've been around for like 3 years. And if you ever looked at the testimonials, they completely sounded like infomercials to me. I'm not quite sure how well this device works, but it's other technology that's out there that's supposed to improve fish keeping. It's just certain things that you sometimes you just have to question, and does it really work? Which is something I don't know about, but I'm going to go ahead and share it to you as well, which is the Nomo device. I know the Unfiltered Aquarius did a series about it. Supposedly for him it works, but then keep in mind, I mean, it was a free device that they were given. which this, I don't know if it, what, does anyone have any opinions on this, which is the Nomo device, which now the one thing about this, it supposedly only works with under gravel filters, which not a lot of people use anymore. So this is obsolete by being something that needs to be used on an underwater filter, which basically supposedly, although it does the same thing that a father's fish's deep gravel beds would do, which is basically supposed to eat up the nitrates in the water under the gravel, which basically supposedly it sends electrolysis or whatever through the water and it's supposed to disintegrate the nitrates and gets them out of the water. It's supposed to give you a microcurrent in there to do that. If anyone's familiar with this kind of tech, please let me know. Is the science sound? Which it's a certain technology stuff out there. It's sometimes it looks like it's it sounds like it's just like snake oil, which I'm not sure if this is actually snake oil or not. But that's just another thing I came across about new technology in the fish keeping hobby. Let's see here. Coral View is releasing some stuff to get more into control business with Hydro's Control 2. It's supposed to be out this fall. Huh. Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing what Coral View has coming out. Now, the one thing I'd really love to see on those kind of devices is more different kinds of testing, like on nitrates. Not just most. I think like the Felix Smart. I think they only really test for ammonia and pH and certain things like that. I'm gonna definitely have to look more into the Apex side of things. Let's see. Yes, Joe. I think sometimes we do overdo it sometimes. But yeah, we do overdo things sometimes, and we think too much. And we had exorcism that we don't necessarily need or require, but it's just something that we like to do. I know with I love gadgets. I love playing with them. I love seeing what they do, and I like kind of controlling things with that. That's why I do a lot of things throughout my house that are kind of smart, being able to control stuff with voice and whatnot, timing. Simple, yes, Bob. Simple does the job every time. Sometimes it's just me. I like to get more a little advanced. Although a lot of things, simple exactly does it. Do I really need a photometer to check my water? No. Although I do like the fact that I get a more precise number. With those APS test kits, I can't tell between 20 nitrate and 40 nitrate. But yeah, that's just me. Let's see, what else do I have to talk about? Some other devices. And of course, the other thing out there was the Senai, which I'm not sure how well that is as well. It looks similar to what the other one, the Fishbit, as well as the Felix Smart does. It's a little sensor, has a camera. A lot of things do this exact same thing in this. Of course, has a little testing thing. Same, looks exactly like the Felix Smart one. Hello, Scott's Aquatics. Thanks for joining. But yeah, it looks exactly like the Felix Smart. I only monitor one tank, but the power strip is controlling filters on so many. So I can hit a feed button and everything turns off for 5 minutes. Yeah, that's one thing I need to do on mine. I need to go back into the smart. I need to pull my smart devices out of my closet and connect them. When I moved my aquariums, that's one thing I haven't set up yet was my smart devices. And eventually I will be connecting the smart plugs again to get more things automated that way. The feed mode is awesome. That's one thing I need to do on mine. I'm too lazy to turn off the filters because I always forget to turn them back on. The feed option is a great thing to actually work on. That way you're not forgetting to actually turn back on the filters. Mission, keeping fish for 45 years. I've never used bottled bacteria, never needed it. Yeah, I mean, once you have running tanks, you really never need the bottled bacteria to begin with, because you could always pull out the media from your old aquariums. They do have Alexa integration. I think people have connected to Siri 2. Have not tried it. One thing I particularly would be interested in is it Google Home Assistant integrated as well. That's particularly what I use. I use Google. So some people do use Siri. Some people use Alexa. It's just different aspects. If anything, I'd be using the Google because that's the ecosystem I'm in. Which is the fun thing about technology is you have your different ecosystems, and once you're in it, you're in it. Same for 58 years. Yeah. It's just a lot of different things you could do with new technology. Is just new technology. Some people are going to be using it. Some people aren't really going to be doing it. A lot of things with the new technology is just extra money. And money that it probably, for some people, makes things easier for them. Some people it's just added money that they'd rather have in their pocketbooks. And at least that aspect of being simple is you're not relying on outside other technology that could always fail. Added technology could always fail, just like anything. Keeping things simple, it's more of it's a little more safe with less moving parts. More moving parts you have, the more complex and more pieces could break off. Bob has certain lights on one switch, but most of the tanks are in single turnoffs. Yeah, all my tanks are either on a timer with a button, or they're the Fluval Smart ones that are controlled by timers on an app. Let's see here. Okay, let's see where we're at. Yeah, but is there any other technology that you guys know that's out there that or upcoming technologies that are out there that will be making a difference in the fish keeping hobby? That's one thing about technology. It gets out there, and a lot of it's just to make your life a little bit easier. Although some of it can make life more complex. I know you have like more simple technologies like the Python water change system, which is out there to actually remove the need of hauling buckets around. I never purchased the Python because I found other methods that work just the same. I still use a bucket in my tub, which I actually use water pump to pump the water in and out of my tanks. Let's see. AC Aqua. I use the smart plugs as timers. Only thing is it adds a device to your network each time. Exactly. That's what happens when you use smart plugs. They do add a new device on your network each time. I mean, I do have the Smart Things Hub, which is just one device adds to my network. Although I don't have a lot of smart plugs yet that specifically work for that. Right now, the smart plugs I do have are Wi-Fi. But once those go out, if I ever buy more, I'm going to be buying Smart Things capable ones, which prevents that adding a new device to your network each time. That's more of a hub rather than a new device on your Wi-Fi network. I want a device that separates snails from duckweed.
That would be lovely. Or what Chevy Fish says, or duckweed from Fry. It'd be nice to have a device that actually just takes duckweed out of your aquarium just like that. But a lot of it's called a water agitation. That would do the job. But then with water agitation, you're basically dissolving the duckweed and throwing whatever's in the duckweed into your water. So if the duckweeds were filtering out nitrates, you're getting nitrates back into the water. Yes, Aquaball, you do need your Wi-Fi fixed. And one of these days, Aquaball, when I get the chance, I will come over and see if I could do something for you. Maybe a magnetic stir. Or you could just get a HOB that kind of has a little waterfall and agitates the water. Let's see what Bob has to say. Let's see. Single smart lighting in Fluval. Yeah, I do a lot. I do use a lot of single LED smart lighting in my house. Bob, I found another downside to automation can be less beside the tank observation. In theory, if a tank is on auto feeders, auto lighting, the keeper might not be near it for days or weeks. Not a good idea. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if you're not keeping an eye on your aquarium, yeah, I mean, with automation, it kind of prevents that. Where if you're actually going to your tank and doing that, if you're like going to your tank and manually turning off the light, you're gonna be there to actually check it out. Although my problem with the manual thing is I'd forget to turn it on or I'll forget to turn it off. Although with automation, though, it could fail to turn on, it could fail to turn off as well. So it's a lot of a pros cons kind of thing. I do love pythons and hoses as I can't lift buckets, but this still requires a personal visit to each tank. Yeah, exactly. Not all technology prevents the fish keeper from going to your tank. That's the one thing I will never do, though, is I will never go on an auto feeding system. Primarily because I'm gonna have to. I don't trust them. I don't trust technology that much. My feeling is that technology will accidentally throw every bit of food into the water, which is one thing I do fear with auto feeders. Which, if I go on vacation, I probably just won't feed my fish. The fish will be perfectly fine in there. Unless it's a specific fish that needs the food. Most likely, most fish are fine if you take a short vacation. And if you're really afraid of losing fish during vacation due to not being fed, it's probably better to actually just get someone who's trained on the fact on how to feed your fish. Or you just give individual pieces of fish food to the fish for the person to feed. Because I have intermittent internet or Wi-Fi, I need to manually unplug my Fluval 3.0. One thing I found on Fluval 3.0 is if my internet goes out, nothing happens to the light. The light continues. It maintains the same programming. The only time I ever have to reset the Fluval 3.0s is when the power goes out on it. So that's my personal experience. Power goes out, then yes, the Fluval Smart gets thrown out of whack. Internet or Wi-Fi, I have no problem with it. So 3.0s are costly but good. They're good but costly, exactly. That's the added thing about getting new technology. Sometimes it can be costly. Just like if you're looking at like the automated system, either like the Felix Smart or the Apex, they could be a few $100s and they could be pricey. So yes, I'm really wondering what's going on with your fluvals, because that's one thing I've never experienced. The only time I ever had problems with Wi-Fi going out with smart devices have been certain lights that I don't use anymore, and other smart plugs that I never use anymore. That's one thing. If you're using a smart device, make sure you test it. Make sure you test it to see what happens when the internet goes out and when the power goes out, and see what it does. If it doesn't act the way you want it, I'd just return that particular device and buy something else that does. Forgot to say I have no apps. Yeah. Forgot to say I have no apps. Yeah. I really like the Aquarium upper end lights. They even grow coral. Anthony got one based on how one of mine performed. He even did a video, true story. I'm gonna have to check out those videos. Yeah, Fluval 3.0 is Bluetooth, although Chevy doesn't have any apps for it. Joe says most auto feeders work well, but feeding is one of the joys. Why would I let a robot do it? Yeah, I would not want the robots to do it. And I personally won't. I don't want to rely on the robot to do it either. I'd just be too afraid. I know how technology goes, and things go wrong. It could be the most reliable thing, but with that, if one thing goes wrong on like 0.1% of the chance, you don't want that problem on auto feeder. You don't want to be that 0.1% of the chance. Bobby even hand crushes his food to fill the size. Yeah, I just use a peppermill for that. But then with my peppermill, I mix a whole bunch of different varieties of foods to create my own mix. Let's see here. Streetwise, if you plug the fluval back in, it will assume time is midnight and count up from there. If anything is scheduled, touch it in the app for time to sync. Yeah, that's what happens when the power goes out on it. And I know people used to actually use that feature in the Fluval to actually do the siestas on their lights. They used to do the timer and kind of flip the switch and actually have multiple time periods. Although when they changed the app and they added the Pro feature on that kind of threw that out the window. I just wish it kept the time now, because it'll make an improvement if it did that. I wish it did, because when power goes out, you don't want to have to mess with like 3-4 different lights to actually fix. Right now, I do have 2 of the Fluvals, and if the power goes out of the house, I would have to worry about changing and moving the tank and that back up and running, as well as the Aqua Sky on my Shelly tank. Let's see. When Lucas told Joseph not to use a mill, but to hand crush to fill the size, I knew what he meant. Yeah, that is the added feature of doing something manually. You get to feel how fine you're controlling it. I know when I do the peppermill, it does a variety of different sizes, which I'm fine for in my tanks. I mean, basically, it does give the powder. It does give larger pieces, so it works for my need. But then I don't have large breeding projects, and I don't really. I know with like some people like Lucas, he does a lot, and maybe even Joseph. They do probably more breeding projects than I do. My breeding is basically Maltese, just because that's what they breed. These guys right here, I'm not worried about them breeding. A few of them have been holding, but I never see fry from them. So primarily because the other fish probably get to them, as well as the Synodontis catfish that are in there as well. Let's see here. Will it keep working if my phone runs out of minutes? The app works fine. It does not go. Basically, it doesn't run off the time off your internet, Chevy. It just runs off of Bluetooth to set the settings in the timer in the actual device itself. So it doesn't check back with your Wi-Fi. One thing you can do if you're afraid of that is just when you're not using the Fluval app, just disable it. You can just disable the app. The Fluval Smart app only needs internet when it needs internet. When you're only like setting it, if even that, because basically it's basically controlling it via Bluetooth. The Fluval Nights do not. The Fluval Smart Lights do not use internet. They use Bluetooth. So yeah, like Streetwise saying. Otherwise, you could do everything. You could even take your light to the library, update firmware there, and bring it back home. Let's see. AC Aqua, automating lights and CO2 is all I need to automate. Yeah, that's primarily that's the only thing I automate. I have automated would be the automatic lights and the CO2. When I did the do-it-yourself dosing system, I did have that automated as well. I'm so tech challenged. Chevy Fish. When you get a chance, I'm gonna go find a link for you. Go to what's his name? Go to Bentley Pasco's page. Go to his page. He does a few tutorials on the Fluval lights. Pretty self-explanatory. I just follow his what he says. His video will walk you through it. Let me see if I can find. Let's see. Let's see here. Go to Bentley's page. Go to his. That's going to be his video. Check that out. Go to the library with the light for Dave's next stream. But yeah, my next stream actually Streetwise is going to be on Thursday late night. Not tomorrow, but next week I'm going to be switching over to a late night stream. So that's probably not going to help Chevy too much. But Chevy, email me at david@aquariumthoughts.com. And if you need help, I can help you out with one of these days. Just let me know. I'll set up a time and I can help you. If you want to go to the library and bring a light, I can help you through it. But if not, definitely check out Bentley Pascal's settings. It'll probably be a disaster. Auto water changes would be nice, but that's a lot of planning and setup. That's the other thing. Actually, Jesse, that's actually another thing I do have automated. I do have my pond, my tub outside. I have that automated for water changing as well. That's the other thing I do have automated. Planning wise, it wasn't too hard. I got one of those beehive hose timers, and I have that running on my faucet that runs water out to my pond. And I have my pond on a overflow. So basically, when it gets too high, the water just drains out into my dragon fruit planter. Yeah. So yeah. Chevy Fish. Sometimes when you get a chance, check out Bentley's videos on his fluvals. He has a lot of information on the fluvals as well. He's actually the one I watched when I was researching some of the lights, as well as about the siesta functionality, which is not something I've actually used. I just was interested in learning about it. And he's the one I learned about the timer to actually turn off the lights and switch it back to the midnight to actually have the siesta mode. So definitely check out his channel, watch his videos on the fluvals, and hopefully you should be fine. Just watch it a few times before you actually sit down and actually work on the app. Let's see. Streetwise, do you know, do the fluvals automatically update the firmware, or do you have to press a button to actually update the firmware for yourself? Chevy Fish, I use Bentley settings and I watch his videos. I just switched these lights for more plug and play, one and done. Yeah, that's the added thing when you added more added technology is you're worried about settings and stuff forth like that. But I know with these lights they do offer pre-installed settings. So if you just want certain settings, you can just run those. But you do have to open up the app to get to those. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's advanced light, so if you're worried about that, it's probably not a light for you. But it's just a matter of added research to get into it and getting into the settings and learning it. When I first got the Fluval lights, I spent probably a couple of days just playing with the settings and learning the app and learning how the lights work. So that's probably just something you need to do. Is just install the app, play around with the lights. I'm not even sure you probably don't even need internet to actually play with the lights using their app. It's just their app runs on Bluetooth, so you probably don't even need internet to actually use the app in general. Let me. Bentley rocks. I agree, Bob. Let's see. Let me turn off my Wi-Fi on my phone. Actually, let me do better. Let me turn on airplane mode and turn on Bluetooth. There. Let's see here. I have my light right now. Let me remove the comment right there. I do have my light on just Bluetooth. It's not on Wi-Fi. It's on airplane mode. Right now I'm still in the yeah. It still works. So yeah, I mean, if you have the app on home, you have it on at home. It's just going to work via Bluetooth. You're not going to be worried about actually running the Wi-Fi on it or internet connection. The app will show an icon and firmware is available, and you can also swipe left on the light. I'm gonna have to take a look at that later when I get a chance. I know the best firmware was probably like 6 months ago when they actually updated and added the Pro mode, adding the more light points, more set points. Okay. Let's see. Hello, welcome back to Aquarium Analytic. Yeah, that update did add Pro mode, which with 10 control points, easier to do dual siestas. Yeah, that was an awesome. That was one of the things that people were asking for. I know when I talked to Fluval at the Riva Palooza, that's one question I asked them as well. They said it was in the works, and it took them a while to actually get to that point. But at least they actually listened to their users and actually added that. Let's see here. But yeah. But anyways, it's been about an hour now. It's approaching noon. Probably gonna get going now. Primarily because I could spend time with my family. That's the other thing I want to switch to more of a late night. So starting next week, I'll be streaming late night on Thursdays, sometime after Chattanooga Ed's done with his stream. Primarily, I'm not a person that actually wake up early enough. Doing this stream at 11 a.m. for me has been kind of rough. Normally, I don't wake up until like 11 or noon, anyways. When I do these streams, I do kind of want to wake up a little bit before that. That way, I can prepare. Today, I kind of prepared before I went to bed, but let's see. Before I go, if I screw it up, can I get back to how it is now? Just plug it in, it turns on. It didn't come with instructions. Yes, Chevy Fish. I know there's different modes on the top of the light. Let's see, I could probably reach it from here. Right now, you have. Let me move the pothos. Oops. Okay, there it is. Right now it's green, which means it's being controlled by the timer on the app. So that's basically auto mode, which is controlled by the app. Then you have different ones like you have red, which is off. You have the white, which is just going to be this setting right here, which is just regular light. Then you have blue. I keep it on green. If I were to turn off the power, let me go ahead and turn off the power right now on my light, and I'll show you what it does. So give me a second here. I just need to go down into the bottom of my thing. Find the fluval lights. Let's see here. I really need to label these more. I think it's this one. Nope, it's not that one. Okay. It's probably this one. So power's out. And I'm going to go ahead and plug it back in. And this is what it does on the green. Now this is on the green. This is on the auto setting. When it's on the auto setting, that is on the auto setting. That is on the auto setting, which means if it happens on that, when the power goes out, I need to go into the app and basically reload it by pressing the thing, and it goes back on. Now, if I do set it on to the white aspect, let me go ahead and change the setting. Like I said, this is on the green, which is based on the settings on the timer. Go ahead and turn it into, now it's on the white mode, which is this light right here, which is just regular. Going to go ahead and turn it off again. So I'm going to unplug it. Okay, I unplugged it. Lights are out. Plug it back in, and the lights are back on. So yes, I mean if you're just using the non-auto mode, it'll go back on just like it is right now. So it's. But if you're on the auto mode, when you're on the auto mode and that happens, like if I change this back to green, now it's back onto my programming. If I unplug it, again, unplug it, plug it back in. Right now it thinks it's midnight because the time's wrong. And then it's just going to go, the timer's going to think it's midnight. And then all you have to do is go ahead and open the app and press on the light that you have. And then it fixes the issue. It fixes the time. And the lights come back up. Retry that. And the lights will go back on. That's all you have to do to fix it when the power goes out. And this doesn't even require internet. Right now, my phone is still in airplane mode, so I don't have to even connect to the internet to fix that issue. Hello, Chewy. Welcome to the stream. Right at the end, you're joining, but that's how it is. Hey, Chewy. Let me ask you this: is there any new technology out there for aquariums that you know about? I know you're pretty knowledgeable in the fish keeping hobby. Show swipe to update. That's one thing I haven't done. Let me see here. Let me see. So basically, all you do is it swipe like this? Oh, that's sorting. Let me see. Oh, okay. I see it now. Okay. So basically, all you do is swipe left. And you have two options. You have either upgrade or remove. So I'm gonna hit the upgrade on that. Oh, now that's my problem. I'm not connected to the internet. So let me take it off of airplane mode. Yep. Father Fish is live now. Hello, Fishy Internet Tank Ticks. So basically on that, go ahead and update. Oh, okay. Right now it's updating. Oh, device firmware is up to date, so that's good. Let me check my Shelly tank now. This is on the Aqua Sky. Update. Checking device. Successful. That's up to date as well. So apparently, it looks like it's been kept up to date. So, okay. I'll update the bootloader first. Let's see. Huh. Let's see. Not really. Some newer systems are going to UV sterilization techniques, but that kills bad and good bacteria. Sometimes immunity issues can be caused when in the bubble. So that's one of the downsides. Like I've been talking about. Also, I mean, just like I mentioned earlier, technology does have its advantages, but it does have its cons as well. Just like Chewy's pointing out right here. So probably not a good idea to run UV sterilization, especially 24 hours a day. That's probably definitely not good. I know some people do use UV primarily to get algae out of the tank. But I think with the immune system issues, I think it's a matter of how life is. Sometimes if you're not exposed to bad things in life, your body does not get used to them, and then when they're actually finally exposed to them, then things go out of whack, and your body doesn't know how to react to it. Okay, Chevy Fish. Scott says Scott Aquatics. He has the instructions if you want them. They could get them mailed to you. Just need an address to send them to. Hello, Amy. How's it going? So, welcome to joining. Amy, did the shirt get to you yet? Just out of curiosity, did it get to you yet or not? I know Amy is creating a quilt out of fish tube shirts. So if anyone has any fish tube shirts for her, get a hold of her, and she's putting together a quilt with fish tuber shirts. So if you have any extra ones lying around that you don't need or use anymore, contact her. Let's see here. That's a project I'd be really interested in seeing the progress from you, Amy. Is the quilt. So if you are doing that, make sure you do video it. That way you could do a video for us as well. That'd be great. That's my opinion, anyways. Let's see here. Let's see here. That is what is said about the issues of fancy guppy breeding. From good and bad side, all championship guppies are raised in bare bottom tanks, and then the issues of immune systems come in. Yeah. It's just like what happened in the past with basically isolated communities. And then you have strangers come in. The communities end up catching the diseases primarily because their body doesn't know how to deal with them. Thanks, Streetwise. This definitely turned out to be a nice stream, I think. Let's see here. I'm gonna copy that down. Oh no, that's fine, Amy. I'm just wondering. I can check the status myself. I just haven't checked the status yet. I just want to make sure it gets to you. I don't know when it's supposed to arrive, so I know they shipped it and whatnot, but I just haven't looked into that. Scott's that's the GoFundMe page for Nathan's tombstone. Bob, can you post that link on the stream, please, if you're still here? Hey, Anthony, welcome to joining. Bad bacteria can be in the substrate and affects your tails, which is the platform on which they are judged. Yeah. But then you put them into a dirty tank and they have problems. Let me see if I can find that link for you guys. Let me see. I know Bob posted it. Let me see here. Let me try to find it. I'm kind of I could find it easily on my phone. I can't find it on my phone as easily here. But does anyone have the GoFundMe page for Nathan's tombstone? Let me see here. I know it's on Bob's his page. Let me see here. Okay, I found it. Let me just get the link for you guys. And see if I can get the link. GoFundMe, GoFundMe, GoFund. Darn it, that's not what I want. Okay, there you go. Thanks, Zen, because I messed up the link. Definitely check out the GoFundMe for Nathan's tombstone. So definitely check out that GoFundMe for Nathan. That way we get him a good tombstone for him. The Zen Ginger is running the GoFundMe. I had it handy. Thanks, Zen. Thanks for running that GoFundMe, by the way. There are some interesting articles that I know Stan Schubel wrote. They are still on his website. I'm going to have to go read on that shortly. But anyways, let's see. Okay, so guys, definitely check out Nathan's GoFundMe. Let's see. I'm going to end the stream now. Like I said, like 12 minutes ago. Anyways, thanks for everyone for joining me. Thanks to the mods. Thank you, Zen Ginger, for running Nathan's GoFundMe. Thanks, Chewy, for sharing your wonderful wisdom here. I'm missing some chat. The tornado signs are going off for the last 10 minutes. I hope you're safe out there, Chevy. Let me go back. I need to do one thing here. Okay, so it's already been retracted. Okay, thanks. Let's see here. I hope everyone has a great day. There are certain things you learn from IFGA guys. There's a lot of things you can learn from the more veteran fish keepers out there in the world. So as usual, keep researching, keep learning. Definitely check out all those wonderful sites that could be out there to actually learn more. Anyways, I need to get going because my laptop battery is running low and I don't want to run and get my laptop plugged in. Yes, then definitely check out my website, aquariumthoughts.org, or you can actually go to aquariumthoughts.com as well. Anyways, have a great day. Keep in mind, Father Fish is streaming, so feel free to go over there and enjoy his stream. Thanks and have a great day.
Bye, Dad.